You're standing in a city that doesn't exist. Someone you haven't thought about in years is talking to you, and somehow it makes perfect sense. The sky is the wrong color. None of it bothers you. Then your alarm goes off. You open your eyes. For 1 or 2 seconds, the dream is still right there, vivid, complete, almost touchable. You think, I'll remember this one. By the time you've reached for your phone to check the time, half of it is already gone. By the time you've brushed your teeth, there's nothing left but a feeling. Something happened. You have no idea what. This isn't a personal failure of memory. It isn't because you're tired or distracted or bad at remembering things. Scientists estimate that you forget roughly 90% of your dreams within minutes of waking up. And the reason has nothing to do with willpower. Your brain is doing this to you on purpose, deliberately, by design. To understand why, you need to understand something strange about what's actually happening inside your skull while you dream. Every night, you cycle through several stages of sleep, and the strangest one, the one where the most vivid dreaming happens, is called REM sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep. During REM, something remarkable occurs. Your brain becomes almost as electrically active as it is while you're awake. Areas responsible for vision, emotion, and memory light up and fire rapidly. If you looked only at the activity levels, you might assume the person lying in that bed was conscious and alert. But the chemistry tells a completely different story. Your brain runs on chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, and two of them matter enormously here: acetylcholine and norepinephrine. During REM sleep, acetylcholine surges. This is part of why dreams feel so immersive, so emotionally real, so strange and vivid all at once. Acetylcholine drives the kind of intense, free associating brain activity that produces dream content in the first place. But at the very same time, norepinephrine, the neurotransmitter most closely tied to attention, alertness, and crucially, memory consolidation, drops to almost nothing, nearly zero. This matters because norepinephrine is part of the chemical machinery your brain normally uses to take an experience and file it away as a lasting memory. It's part of what tells your brain, this moment matters, write it down properly. Without it, your brain can generate an experience in real time without ever properly saving it. Robert Stickgold, a cognitive neuroscientist at Harvard Medical School who has spent decades studying sleep and memory, described this mismatch with a phrase that captures it perfectly. Dreams are like writing notes on water. The brain is active. The experience is happening. But the systems needed to preserve that experience simply aren't switched on. Picture a film crew shooting an entire movie, scene after scene, fully lit, fully acted, fully real in the moment. Except nobody loaded film into the camera. The performance happened. There's simply no footage of it afterward. This is also why the moment you wake up matters so much. When you transition out of sleep, your brain undergoes an extremely rapid reconfiguration. Blood flow shifts. Neurotransmitter levels rebalance. Entire cortical networks essentially reboot, swapping out of dream mode chemistry and into wake mode chemistry within moments. Researchers studying this transition have found something almost cruelly specific. You have a window of roughly 30 seconds to 5 minutes after waking during which a dream can still be captured and consolidated into a real memory. Before the chemical changeover finishes and the content becomes essentially unreachable. This explains a detail you've probably noticed without ever questioning it. Dreams you wake up directly out of, especially during or right after a REM phase, tend to feel sharp and memorable, at least for those first few seconds. Dreams you drift away from gradually, surfacing slowly through lighter stages of sleep, tend to vanish almost completely, with nothing left behind but a mood, a vague sense that something happened. With all the specific content already gone, before you were even conscious enough to notice it leaving. There's also a deeper question hiding underneath all of this. Why would evolution build a brain that works this hard to generate vivid experiences every single night, only to actively prevent you from remembering most of them? One leading idea is that this isn't a flaw at all, but a feature with a very specific purpose. Researchers studying REM sleep believe it plays a critical role in memory consolidation and emotional processing. Essentially, your brain using the dream state to sort, strengthen, and reorganize information gathered while you were awake, sometimes stripping away unnecessary emotional intensity from memories in the process. If that's accurate, dreaming might function less like an experience meant for you to consciously witness and more like the visible byproduct of essential overnight maintenance happening deep inside your nervous system. Maintenance you were never supposed to watch, let alone remember. In other words, the dream might not be the point. The dream might just be exhaust, the noise that happens to escape while the actual machinery does its real work somewhere else. Somewhere chemical. Somewhere your waking mind doesn't get invited. This also explains a strange asymmetry you've probably noticed. It's almost impossible to deliberately recall a dream once it's gone. No matter how hard you concentrate, yet a stray smell, a phrase someone says, or a passing image during the day can suddenly yank an entire forgotten dream back into vivid detail, hours later, with no warning at all. That's not a coincidence either. Dream content that fails to fully consolidate doesn't necessarily disappear completely. It may persist in a fragile, barely accessible state, waiting for the right associative cue to reactivate it. The same way a half-erased whiteboard can suddenly look complete again under exactly the right angle of light. If you've ever tried keeping a dream journal, you've probably noticed this firsthand. People who write down dreams immediately upon waking, before moving, before speaking, before even fully opening their eyes, report dramatically better recall than people who wait even a few minutes. It isn't that those people have better memories. It's that they're racing a chemical clock that is actively working against them from the moment their eyes open. A 5-minute window that closes itself automatically every single morning, whether you're ready or not. So tonight, you'll dream again. Something vivid, strange,